Welcome to Sephra's World. My name is Sephra, and this is my world. And today we have another gripping episode, or not, of writers behaving badly. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will say after my last Writers Behaving Badly episode, or whatever you call these rambles. I lost 10 friends on Facebook and I think 5 on YouTube. So people are listening and not agreeing. And like I said, fully expect that because people don't like to hear the truth. So this time in the horror field, because that's where my direction is or my attention is. I know there's a lot of shit hitting the fan in World Fantasy and Worldcon and some other stuff, but I'm not talking about any of that stuff because I'm not as familiar with it, but I sort of know what's going on with what's happening that I'm going to talk about now. So, again, I'm not going to name names because it's sort of a general thing that happens because that's why it's included. It's like when I teach my courses, I pull out things not because only that person has ever done it, but it's because stuff we all do and we all can learn from, and we all need to be more respectful of people's feelings and so on. So this week, it seems like the thing I'm going to focus on, I know there's a few things going on, but what I'm focusing on is that a writer who has done very well over the years, has written bazillions of books, co-wrote some and wrote some, and he's been in the trenches as long as I have, but way, way more prolific and more successful than I am. And he's certainly earned his time at the top, as it were. So he posted, and I know this person really well. Not really, really well, but I know him quite well. We've been friends for like, I don't know, 20, 30 years. We met at Nikon way back in the day. I think it was both of our first Nikons. Anyways, so he has a new book out, and he was really excited about one of his reviews, and he put it on the Book of Faces. And said the review was something like it was just like a sentence or something like, this is the best haunted house book I've ever read, or something like that, right? So the author was super excited to share this news. Who wouldn't be? Any of us would be. I'd love to get that little snippet myself. Who wouldn't be happy with that, right? It's a joyful time when someone actually likes your work and takes the time out to tell you that on a public review. I think it was on Amazon, I'm not sure. Um, and also, I guess I'll go back. I don't want to give too many details, but this author did it is in the thrust of a second round of COVID, and he caught COVID at a conference that actually was supposed to be about it was sort of a book launch conference for this new book, this new book he worked so hard on, and is published by a traditional publisher, and is doing very well. It has excellent reviews. And so anyway, so he had a conference. I couldn't go for financial reasons. I couldn't afford it. I would have gone because all my friends were there and people I didn't know too, like a couple hundred people went. And however, at the conference, the very first day, he interacted with someone who was carrying COVID. And so he realized it because the person posted on Facebook the next day that they had COVID. And so this author, even though this was a celebration for his book launch, he's one of these people that deeply cares about other people. I've seen it over and over again. He's a very sensitive guy and respectful, and so he left his own conference because he wasn't sure if he had caught COVID and didn't want to spread it to other people at the conference. And he also didn't want to spread it to his family. He apparently has some family members that have a lot of immune issues. I don't know the details, and nobody needs to. But so he left, so he wouldn't spread the vid, as it were. I hope that this stream doesn't get shut down just because I said that the word. Oh my God, I might have to censor it. Anyways, so he left his own celebration, and and then went into isolation. And he actually rented a hotel room for isolation so he wouldn't spread it to the family. Then he got better. Then he caught it again. Somehow I forget the details. So this, and I've learned, it seems like most of my friends who take Paxlovid, when they have COVID, they get COVID again. I personally never took Paxlovid when I had COVID because I was too young when it was rolled out here. I had COVID in 2021, I think, or 2022. I can't remember now. COVID was already around, but Paxlovid had just come to Canada when I caught COVID, and only people over 65 or 70 were allowed to take it. So obviously, I was too young. So I don't know if that's true, that if you take Paxlovid, you get it again, but he did. He got it again, no matter what the reason was. So he's been pretty depressed because this should be the happiest time of his life. He had this amazing conference, people supporting him, celebrating him. He's getting rave reviews and all this stuff. And he's locked in hotel rooms because he is sick and doesn't want to spread it to other people, which is, you know, what everyone used to do in 2019. And now people walk around spreading the news, spreading the joy. Anyways, so he's been kind of depressed, you think? And so he was super happy to post this little snippet of his book, you know, the little snippet that said, hey, best book I've ever read, you know, in this genre kind of thing. So then, don't you know, a party pooper has to come on and say, I don't even know what she said. She said something like, it's not better than some book title or something. It was just like a sentence, and she named another book. And all this scandal had already broken forth by the time it came to my attention, because I've been out having a life and not being on Facebook. So I saw like hundreds of messages of all these people. I haven't read even close to any of them. But basically, it turns out that the book she was referring to was her own book. And but at any rate, the author who was, you know, the author who had the new book out, it really upset him that she went on his personal review. And so that launched a whole wackadoo of everybody commenting on etiquette and protocol and why do you have to be an asshole, and so this person, who I'm not Facebook friends with, so phew, don't have to worry about getting canceled today. I don't know this person, and apparently a lot of people don't, so this was part of the issue. So they don't know this person, they don't know how they are as a person in real life, if they're joking, if, you know, because this person claims that they were joking, they were being sarcastic, because every time they post something positive about their work, then other people come on to spoil it. Well, my book's better, or I got this review or something. I'm not sure that's true. It hasn't happened to me, but I'm not them. So also, I've never had good reviews to post, so that's a whole other kettle of fish. No one reads my stuff, so I have no reviews, good or bad. So I can't relate to anybody. Anyways, so this lady really doubles down on what I could see, and I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it. This was yesterday. I looked last night around midnight. I was looking, so things may have taken a turn. I haven't even gone on Facebook to look at any of this today. There may be thousands more messages, I'm sure. So this person was saying, oh, I was being sarcastic, I was being funny. And then other people are coming in, well, you didn't put a smiley face, you didn't put sarcasm, you just said this thing that your book's better, and crushed this guy who's already like depressed because he's got COVID and because I want to die and stuff. Um, and then she just keeps going back. She never, I don't know if by now she's apologized, but she, like I said, oh, people can't take a joke, this and that. And then, so other people are saying, well, you sound like a narcissist. So, this is what narcissists do. They throw bombs and run and don't apologize and all this. And then what I found curious and interesting was that she said, I've been tested for narcissism and I don't have it. that that just made me laugh. I don't know why. I guess because I'm a sick fuck too. But it made me laugh. It reminded me of Big Bang Theory. I've been tested and I'm fine. So, God's special little boy, um, yeah, it reminded me of the Big Bang Theory when she said, I've been tested. But yeah, so then people start going on about, well, if you've been tested for narcissism, like, there's obviously a reason for that because normal people don't get tested for narcissism because they know they're not narcissists. So, anyways, so don't be an asshole. Again, it comes right down to the same thing I say every time on these things. Don't be an asshole. If someone has a joyful event, even if you don't know them, you don't know the whole backlog of battling COVID for a month and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Maybe they're having the best perfect life possible and something else bright and perfect has happened to them. So if it bothers you that someone's happy, then scroll on by. You don't have to be an asshole and say, well, fuck you, my book's better or whatever, joke or not. And if it had been a joke, I think all of us can agree that if it had been a joke, because I did see the sentence in question, I just can't remember and don't want to wade through all the shit to look for it. We all know that's what emojis were invented for. It's a LOL or smiley face or haha JK or anything to show that you're just trying to lighten the mood, but instead you brought it down. And then of course this woman who those of us who've been in the field forever, it seems like most of us don't know this person, which is fine. There's always room for more at the table in the horror community. I think this person says there has been no room for her and that she's been shit on a lot. By other people. Then she started calling this author privilege, white male privilege and things like this. And other people who know the author in question are like, no, he's worked pretty damn hard for this moment in his life. And I can agree with that. He has, because I've been there watching him. And that's not to say she doesn't work hard either, but for her to say that he's coming from a place of privilege that she can never attain, I feel is probably misguided because of the path he took for his success. And it was a long, hard path. Like I said, we've been in the trenches around the same amount of time. There's no way I could be as prolific as this guy. And I think maybe it is a bit of privilege, but he had a spouse who worked full time and supported the family and raised the kids and all that. So there is a bit of that a lot of us don't get to enjoy. But at the end of the day, you still need the drive and the talent and the perseverance to actually write these books and put them out, no matter if you're living by yourself, in a garret, or you're or you're like Heather Graham, who has like a whole pile of kids, and she came from humble beginnings too, and had all these kids. And I've asked her so many times, how are you so prolific? And she says, I have to be a writer because I can't do anything else. And it's such a nice, simple answer. And so there are, a lot of these people who have huge success. They came from, Stephen King. People who don't know Stephen King's very humble beginnings. Oh, he's a multimillionaire. He can do anything. He's an old white guy, liberal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, he was in a trailer park with a wife and a kid working at a laundromat and writing on a typewriter, the board between the doors, like he earned his chops too, and battled addictions, got, nearly died getting hit by a car and so on. So, but he just, he's the Energizer bunny and one of those very strange, lightning in a bottle people, but, it would come like once every several generations. So when you're talking about privilege and you only see the best-selling author thing on the top, You have to remember that a lot of people came from very low and very dark places to get there. And you can say what you want about J.K. Rowling, but it was the same with her. She was a single mom, and writing in coffee shops and on napkins and stuff, and worked her way up. And, there's a lot of those stories, but, when you only recognize these people once they're at the top, it's easy to throw stones and bitch and be jealous and antagonistic to these people that most of them did work very hard for their success without silver spoons or parents helping them and stuff. So, um, and then, of course, we're having the usual, well, if you're friends with so and so, I'm going to unfriend you and blah, 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 which, again, you all know my opinions on this gatekeeping. So it's all fine and well to expose this woman and say, look, she wrote a bad sentence about a person we all love, and now, the shit's hit the fan. That's fine. We see that. But now we got the pitchforks and torches out again. And, oh, I see she has 800 mutuals. And what I meant to say in my last video about that kind of idea, is who are these people that are spying on their friends to see who they're friends with? Like, how many hours do you have in the day? And oh, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore because you're friends with that. So you spying on your supposed friend to see who they're friends with, how does that make you a better person than the person you're boycotting or pitchforking or burning at the stake or whatever that week? It just makes you an asshole too. And like I said before, people have many reasons for why they keep friends that are not friends on their lists, and it's none of your fucking business why they do. So stop spying on your supposed friends. If you're a good person who truly cares that someone was hurt of some scandal, you're not going to inflame the hurt by now you're going to sit there and go through your friends list and see who's friends with friends, and then you're going to unfriend them because they're friends with that friend who's a friend with that friend. Again, get out of fucking high school, people. Life's too short. I didn't even know who most of my friends, and like I said, I haven't let new people in for ages. I have 1,000 people in the waiting room. And if you're a friend of mine in real life and you're in my Facebook waiting room, write me a real email or phone me to tell me to let you in, because I don't know. I can't deal with all this stuff. And the friends of the friends, I might let the wrong friend in, and then more people are canceled. And cancel me all you want. I don't care. My life isn't ruled by the Facebook roster. Anyway, so be kind. Someone says, hey, I got a good review on my book. Either clap or get the hell out. There's no, it's hard enough to be a horror writer. People already look down on us. We're in the trenches. We're in the gully. We're in the dark. So again, many hands raise the boat. Our community has gotten so splintered and divided over the last few years, and maybe it always was, but social media has certainly brought it out. So come on, everybody, let's hold hands and kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Let's be friends and not spy on people and tell them who to be friends with and who not to be friends with, and have some etiquette, have some couth, have a bit of respect. And if you're making a joke, put an indication you're making a joke, because now you see what happens when you don't do that. And I have no idea if that woman has apologized yet. Maybe she has. Good for her if she has. And anyways, if you like to watch me babbling on, like, share, and subscribe. I'm here on the YouTubes. I'm hoping to get on with some other types of entertainment for you. I've just been so busy. You all, those, paying attention know why I'm so busy. And I'd really like to just get back to be a writer and making YouTube videos, but that probably isn't going to happen this year. I am accepting it. Anyways, thank you all. If you hung in this long, thank you so much. And I hope you all have a fantastic day.